Hello everyone and welcome once again to Brandeo Collection. Today we're excited to bring you another Hot Toys unboxing and review. Today we're talking about the Attack of the Clones Padme Amidala, which is the first 1/6 scale official version of this character that has been released by Hot Toys. Now right now we're taking a look at the outer box, which is your traditional black and gray Star Wars packaging we're all used to across all Hot Toys Star Wars figures. However, that is just a slip cover. We can remove that and see the full blown art box underneath there, which has some incredible artwork here and photos of the figure itself. It represents kind of an old school packaging, similar to like the old school Kenner packaging or even the Hasbro packaging when the movie originally came out in 2002. This is celebrating the 20th anniversary of the film that happened back in 2022, a few years ago now when the figure was initially announced. But we once again have some great photos of the figure on the packaging. We have the 20th anniversary sticker on there, and of course in the clamshell we can see the figure itself and all of its accessories. So what we're going to do next is we're going to jump over and take a look at the accessories the figure comes with before we actually take a look at the figure herself. Starting off with the base and the accessories that the figure comes with, we have a base that has a representation of, it looks like the droid factory on Geonosis from that scene from Attack of the Clones. You do have those pieces in the back there that are removable, so you can change them around on the base, around the base, to give you different types of look of the droid factory. She does come with her cloak, her like cape, and then a headpiece that goes over that matches the coat, which is from what I believe a deleted scene from Attack of the Clones, the full look of the headpiece along with the actual cloak itself. Other than that, not many accessories. It's very light, this figure. You have a couple different hands that you can interchange as we're used to. Then we have the E5 blaster rifle, which is the battle droid one that she uses in the Geonosis arena. We have the Naboo pistol that can go in the holster that's on the figure itself. And then we have the little tool that allows you to change the eye position within the head sculpt itself with the movable eyes. So those are all the accessories that this figure comes with. Really simple, really light compared to a lot of other Hot Toys releases, but there's not really much that you would probably add as accessories for this character, so it kind of makes sense what pieces they did include with her. Here we have the figure itself as it comes straight out of the box with no crazy poses, no accessories added. All I did was just take off the plastic protective pieces that come on the figure straight out of the box. I am really happy to finally have Padme represented in 1/6 scale form here made by Hot Toys. It's been a long time since they initially showed off a prototype at San Diego Comic-Con, I believe almost over 5 years ago, might even be longer than that when they initially showed a prototype, and then we spent a long time waiting for them to officially announce that it was going to be made, and then back in 2022 they officially announced it, and now we have the figure in hand. I think it looks great. I think it definitely looks like Natalie Portman, and the only thing that I have to be a little nitpicky on is just the actual suit itself. It does look a bit baggy compared to how the suit fit her in the actual film. So the suit in the film is much more of a skin tight type of outfit compared to how it lays on the actual body of the figure. So that's really the only complaint I have about the figure as we go through and start taking a look at how she looks with a couple different poses and accessories added to her. So let's jump on over and take a look at a couple different other looks. Now here we have Padme with her cape or shawl or this kind of overcoat here, whatever you want to call it. I kind of have her in a pose that's very similar to one of the more famous promo photos from the promotion of Attack of the Clones. It's a photo that I've seen a ton of times, especially when Natalie Portman did a signing with Swayu a couple years ago. This is a photo that I saw a lot of times people getting signed. I've seen this one on the internet when you look up Padme Amidala, so I just want to recreate that pose a little bit there with this additional accessory clothing item added to the figure. So it just adds a little bit extra and a different type of image depending on how you want to display her in your collection. Here we have the hat piece that goes along with that cape kind of shawl piece. I personally am not entirely sure why you would display her with this. It's from a deleted scene. I'm not really that big of a fan of this particular look, so it's cool that Hot Toys gave it to you, so that way you have the option if you're someone who is really into the different costumes Padme wears, if you want to have something really different in your display compared to how everybody else is going to pose her and display her, then it's great that you have this option. But personally, I don't see myself ever using this option again in the different ways I'm going to display her over the time that she remains in my personal collection. Here we have her displayed with the E5 Battle Droid Blaster, representing that fight in the Geonosis battle arena at the end of Attack of the Clones. The only difference here is, of course, the version of this figure is a clean look that has the outfit in its full kind of put togetherness. It is not the kind of scratched version that has her kind of stomach showing and one of the arms ripped off, that has the claw marks from the Nexu that attacks her in that scene. That's a little bit more of the iconic look of this costume from that movie compared to the cleaner look that is represented here on the figure. So that's another difference here, is I do really enjoy this figure, but out of all the iconic looks from Attack of the Clones, the one that I think most people remember of her in that movie is the battle damage version of this costume. Now, of course, if you're someone who is really good at customizing 1/6 scale figures, if you have the kind of nerve and the patience to customize and cut up this suit, knowing that of course you're going to permanently damage it, more power to you. That's not something I personally am going to do, because I'm too afraid of damaging it to the point that I have to purchase and spend the money for a whole completely brand new figure again. And here's a look with the Naboo pistol blaster that she comes with as well, that can be put in the holster that's included on the belt of the figure. So the belt on the figure, we haven't really talked about that, is permanently attached. It's not something that is removable, so be very careful with that when you're posing the figure and just moving it around. It can be moved slightly, but it is something that is not intended to be removed from the figure at any time. But she looks great with this blaster, just adding another option. This figure doesn't come with a lot of accessories, so there's not a lot of different options and posing ability for the figure. So this is just really showing you and using the pieces that it came with, as limited as it may be. So that is the full overview and look at the Padme Amidala figure just recently released by Hot Toys. As I mentioned previously, I do really enjoy this figure. I'm happy that she finally has representation as an official Hot Toys figure, but the biggest nitpick I have is just that the suit itself is a little bit too baggy in comparison to how it should actually fit on the figure and how it looked in the film itself. The other thing is that we have a really clean look of this suit here, whereas the more iconic look is the battle damage version from the Geonosis battle arena. So if you're someone who is very talented in customizing and you're very brave at ripping up a figure and doing some of your own paint work, then you might have an opportunity to fix some of those things that I just really see as nitpicks in the full comparison to a really nice figure that has a really great head sculpt that looks exactly like Natalie Portman, has that moving eye feature that I love, that I've talked about in previous reviews before. I love that Hot Toys is moving in the direction of adding that as just a common feature for all figures, and I really hope they keep that up for many years to come, because it does add that extra layer of dynamic posing, because you can change the eye position dependent on the body language of the figure itself. So once again, I want to thank you so much for taking some time to go and take a look at this figure with us. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to like it, share it with the community, subscribe to our channel, hit that bell notification to be notified when we post new content. We're always doing exciting things across all different types of pop culture collectibles. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, keep on collecting.